Ready? You all set, Sean?
Yep.
You're second. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We could remain standing and take a moment and remember Hans Schabel, John Cronin, and our men and women in the armed forces. First on the agenda is to approve the minutes that were taken for a regular meeting on June 1, 2020.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by trustee Livesey, second by trustee Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have authorization for the mayor to sign a stormwater control facility maintenance agreement with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in reference to the property located at 107-3-18.1, which is really 11 Main Street, and for those watching, Nicole's, where Nicole's used to be.
Motion. Second.
Motion by trustee Howard, second by trustee Livesey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Motion carries. Next, we have authorization for the mayor to sign a temporary easement for property that's located at 8 Liberty Street in the village, wall repair. So we've talked about this. It's 8 Liberty Street. The wall, after surveys were given and research by our legal team and by our engineer, the wall is on village property. It needs to be repaired, but it's also a temporary easement. If you could approve me signing that temporary easement, it would be good, along with the owner, which is Paul Troy.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Ramus. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, I'm looking for authorization to sign a collective bargaining agreement incorporating the terms of the final October 11, 2019 MOA, Memorandum of Agreement for full-time police, part-time police, full-time dispatchers, and reviewed and approved by council for the village. That is these documents here. We all know what's in them because the board had to approve. But this is just giving me authorization to sign. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Howard. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee DeSalvo. May I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Mayor Denine?
Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. I'll sign these tomorrow. The police have already signed them, and they'll have their copies and we'll have our copies. Resolution. Whereas a donation of $5,000 has been received from Charter Communications, and whereas the revenue has been designated to offset the cost of fireworks. Now therefore be resolved that due to the unanticipated revenue from the Charter Communication, the Board of Trustees approves an amendment to increase the appropriation fund A7550.04 celebrations contractual for $5,000 and the revenue code of A2705 gifts and donations for $5,000 for the fiscal year 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo and seconded by trustee Ramus. May I have roll call?
Trustee Howard?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Yes.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Mayor Denine?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank Charter.
No, thank the mayor because he negotiated it 10 years ago.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome. And just for reference, Charter for folks at home now used to be the old Time Warner. And it was a negotiations 10 years ago for a 10-year contract that they would give X amount of dollars to help the 4th of July, which every year needs it. Now that contract is up this year. And so there's a preliminary date to start negotiations again. Of course, this is Charter, not Time Warner, but I'll keep the board abreast of those negotiations.
Is it still Charter or is it Spectrum now?
Well, I think it went to Spectrum. Now it's Charter, unless you're saying maybe Charter went to Spectrum. I think Charter's the real, the current name, but I can't, now that you're asking, I don't know.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you. We have a resolution, another resolution here. This is another positive resolution, and just before I read it, this was Alan Monks from Allen Imports came to me and thought that the flag at Memorial Park was in bad shape, and he was right. And Flag Day coming up, which was this past Sunday, yesterday, last week he donated the money for a new flag for Memorial Park. So when you ride by Memorial Park, there's a very large American flag in there on the pole that was donated the cost was donated by Alan Monk. So we thank him. Whereas a donation of $179 has been received from Allen Imports Services. And whereas the revenue has been designated to offset the cost of a new flag. Now therefore be it resolved that due to unanticipated revenue from Allen Import Service, the Board of Trustees approves an amendment to increase the appropriation budget A.7110.04 Parks and Contractual for $179 and the revenue code A.2705 Gifts and Donations for $179 for fiscal year 2021. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Ramus. Is there a second?
Happily second that.
Second by trustee DeSalvo. May I have roll call?
Trustee Alward?
Aye.
Trustee Livesey?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Yes.
Trustee Ramus?
Aye.
Mayor D'Onofrio?
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. We have a request here from intern Street Superintendent John Jones. This letter is to request 2 pieces of equipment from the DPW garage be surplus. The first item is a Miller engine drive welder. It was purchased in October of 1976. Were you born yet, Jim?
No,
Wow.
4 years after that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're 4 years after, I'm 5 years after.
80, I was born in 80.
Wow.
Yeah, so we definitely got our use out of it.
Were you born, Murr?
No, Jim's older than me.
Wow. I got a young board. Oh, no. I got Mr. Allen.
Does that mean he makes it work?
Is the camera running?
Of course it's running. God, remember the last time I did this?
Yeah. We had a breakup.
All right, let's get serious. So he wants to surplus this old piece of equipment. It was replaced this year with a modern unit. The second one is a 1990 Garvey G16 tractor. The tractor has a blown engine and was replaced at the beginning of last summer. So I just want to point out that this won't be surplus. It goes to surplus, but it's going to go bye-bye. Scrap, that's the word. So, motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo and a second by trustee Livesey. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, Fall Foliage Festival. We have an application here to have the Fall Foliage Festival. October 31, 2020. Everything's the same as they usually do a good job. Town of Highlands Ambulance Corps. Insurance is on the back. So we just need to approve the setup, the date, the setup, blocking of the street, the normal stuff that we always do.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Ramus, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I just, a quick question. I
Yeah.
know they don't have, they say that no local or state police required, but don't we usually have?
Local.
We usually have the guys walking it, or
Local.
the police officers.
Yeah, we always have a couple guys. And a lot of times they have a booth even. Yeah. Okay, next I have a follow-up to the reorganization that we had a couple weeks ago. The appointment of Mike Slapp as a caretaker for Bog Meadow. We had Jim Titolo we named and Bill Barron. And there was another gentleman that I had named that night, but his routine has changed and et cetera. So Mike Slapp was recommended to me. So if we could approve that.
So moved.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Ramus, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, next we have a resignation of one of the DPW laborers, Cody Jados, effective June 26th. So that would be next Friday.
Motion.
You have his letter there? Okay. Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
I'll second it with regret and wish him well in his, according to his letter, his new job that he got.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Just to make note here, that's the second employee that has resigned in the last couple of weeks because they're both going to American Water at West Point. You know, the water system has been taken over by a private company, and I guess they're scouting out employees. I know another employee that works for us that they went to, and he said no, and I appreciate that. It's definitely more money. Both of these gentlemen that now, including tonight's, are going to make more money working for American Water, and that's the way it should go, you know. But I just want you to know that's where they're both going, American Water. So we will be advertising for a couple of positions relatively soon, and we have another chance to design the department the way we want. So that's that. Okay, I have bills for fiscal year 2019-2020 of $103,991.70. If I could have that approved.
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee DeSalvo, seconded by trustee Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I have, because we just started our new fiscal year, June 1, so fiscal year 2020-2021, $348,408.19. May I have that approved?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Howard, is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee DeSalvo, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. I'd like to wish two young couples a happy 50th wedding anniversary, Norman and Susan Brahm, 50 years being married, and Matt and Bertha Lanier. So if you know any of these folks and you see them, tell them happy anniversary, 50 years. That's great. Okay. Let me do a virus update. I have some numbers. If you're home and you want to write some numbers down, fine. If you just want to listen, that's fine too. The numbers for Orange County 3 hours ago. I say 3 hours because these numbers change, of course. From the beginning, back in March, 10,658 cases. 10,658 cases. Since Saturday, that's up 6. I make a point in saying since Saturday because that's actually the lowest 48-hour increase in number. It's the smallest number. So that number is going down as of today. Hospital, Orange County, 40. Since Saturday, that's down 32. That's the lowest since March in the hospital here in Orange County. There's 40, that's down 32 from Saturday. Total tested, 62,666. 62,666. Out of that number, 17% were positive. The one we don't like is the deaths. 473 as of 3 hours ago. The good news, if there can be good news, is 0 since Saturday. The past 9 days, that's the third time it's been 0. Unheard of. You know, that hasn't been the way it's been going at all. So you can see the numbers are going down ever so slowly. Youth sports, they have broken these sports down to different groups. You have tennis and a couple others in one group, and then you get a little rougher play, maybe baseball, little league, and then the third group is more contact, like football. So the first couple of groups, the lighter kind of sports playing, if you will, it appears that it should start July 6th. Again, these dates can change. July 7th, we will be able to go from 10 to 25 people in a social gathering. On July 7th, 10 to 25. So the question's always asked when I give out numbers, what about here in the town of Highlands? In this case, the town of Highlands means Highland Falls and Fort Montgomery. Our numbers continue, I believe, to go up. We're up to 139. It was 136 just a few days ago. Now, I don't have the number out of the 139 that have recovered. But I would venture to say, I'm not going to give a number, but the majority of them have recovered out of the 139. So the reason tonight that we're here, when we were supposed to be at the senior center, was because we thought we were going to have a public hearing. And that's a little larger place if the public wanted to come about our public hearing. We canceled the public hearing and came back here because it still would only permit us to have 10 people, even if we had it up there. Now, there's 5, 6, 7, there's 8 here now, but usually we have department heads here, and to be honest with you, that puts us at 10 or 11 people. So that's the only reason we came back here, and there's no public hearing, and we'll have the public hearing. There'll be no public hearings until we can have more people attend. You all right with that, Elise? Yeah. And the other thing is, I do like it when our meetings are on TV live. If we went to the senior center, we can't be on Channel 23, and therefore you would have to pull up our website, which I really want you to do anyway, to pull up the website, and you can view our meetings always the following day after a meeting anyway. So you could be watching this tonight, and maybe you stepped out of the room and there's something you missed. You can watch this whole meeting tomorrow on the village website. I continue to visit the businesses on Main Street from Thayer Gate all the way down, all the way south here. They've received maybe 3 different letters from me, updates. One letter went in the mail, the other 2 were hand-delivered. And in particularly the restaurants from Thayer Gate down, I visit at least twice, if not 3 times a week, with update information from the county and from the governor. Because again, it changes, it just changes. And I'll continue to do that for as long as the virus is here. Meters are free at this point, but I will tell you that the board will make a decision soon on when we'll start meters up again. I suspect maybe we'll talk about July the 7th, but we have to decide that. Water and sewer bills for the whole community, including businesses, of course, have been extended. I've told the businesses, in particular the restaurants, that they can have tables outside. A couple of them have, not as many as I thought. We have the $50 gift certificate. If you buy a $50 gift certificate at any store, hardware store, restaurant, whatever, you can have I'll give you a parking pass for a year to park on Main Street free. If you give $50 donation to the food pantry, I'll give you a parking pass for a year free to park on Main Street. The holiday lights are still on. A lot of good compliments on that. New sidewalks at the north end, the trees, the flowers, the hanging baskets. I'll tell you, the north end looks great, and soon this end of Main Street will be the same. And the new trash receptacles and benches are starting to arrive. They'll be put together and put on Main Street. I think the public will like all of that. I have a folder. I continue to put items in there, hoping to get reimbursed from FEMA. Our Assemblyman Colin Schmidt sent me an email. He sent it to a lot of folks today, that if businesses are looking for hand sanitizer, he has it. He has an allotment. It's available for the folks that are reopening their businesses. He's in Washingtonville. You just have to go to his office. It's first come, first serve. So if anyone's looking for hand sanitizer, he can help you out. The pool. I can't say it's a brand new pool, but it's kind of new. And it's been completed. The water looks great in it. We're putting chemicals in it. We're testing it every day, even though it's not open. I met with the water department this morning, and we're waiting to hear from the county after a phone call was made for them to come over and inspect our pool and give us a permit. Once the permit is here, we'll make a copy and give it to the town. And between the recreation director and I guess the supervisor, they can decide if the pool should be open. The playground is phase 3. Now phase 3, I'm getting conflicting reports. It's phase 3, I heard today, and I also heard today it's phase 4. Now phase 3 starts a week from tomorrow, next Tuesday. If the playground can be opened in phase 3, I have already had one meeting with the highway department, and we will make it as sanitized as we can. The highway department, taking away from other jobs they have, will go over there and spray it and wipe it down. There'll be signs to wash your hands, wear a mask, try and stay socially distanced. We'll wipe down all the handles and piping. There'll be disinfectant there for the public to use. The bathrooms will be, they're always clean, but even, I don't really want to say cleaner, but they'll be very clean. The bathrooms will. So we'll have signs. This is a sign that was made from up at Round Pond, West Point. And so I'm going to look at this and pick out what pertains to us. And I think we'll get 1 or 2 professional signs done instead of paper signs, because they're going to be over there for a while.
It'll be better,
Right?
be weather protected.
Yeah.
You won't have to worry about the wind blowing it off or anything.
Long Pond, I get emails, I received one this morning. Long Pond does not belong to the village nor the town, it belongs to West Point. My conversations with the garrison commander is that they're trying to get it open this year, they're not sure. I'm reluctant to say good news with the virus, but positive news is they're going to spend $500,000 next year, this year, next year, out at Long Pond. So they're planning on doing some heavy renovations out there to make it nice. This week, within the next couple of days, the soldiers, men and women, will be arriving from Fort Polk that are going to be part of the training unit for the cadets. The new seniors will arrive on July the 7th. We know our day, the new cadets are going to come in 3 different waves, July 17th, 18th, and 19th. And in between all that, the cadets will be back. So the cadets will be here longer than normal during the summer. I'm going to give this out, it won't take long. It's just interesting. These are statistics from the county. Out of 419 people who have passed from the virus. So out of 419 people, the age group 1 to 17, 0. 18 to 44 years old, 19. 45 to 64 years old, 76. 65 to 74, 93. 75 and over, 231. Summer camp, while we don't have summer camp here, the county is opening up summer camp, day camp. I heard your nephews are all going. That's what I heard. I'm sure the parents can't wait.
Sure.
But the county summer day camp is going to be open, fully vaccinated in order to attend. And you can go on the county website and get more information on that. The last thing with the virus, as I always do, I just want to repeat what's open in town. Andy's Restaurant, pickup and delivery. The Barnstormer in Fort Montgomery, pickup. Bear Mountain Pizza in Fort Montgomery, pickup and delivery. Hacienda, pickup and delivery. Maria Benitez, just up the street here, pickup. Park Restaurant, pickup and delivery. Richie's Little Place, pickup. West Point Pizza, pickup and delivery. High Tech, that's the computer shop we have in town, up where Bosch's Garage used to be. High Tech. He's open Monday through Friday, 10 to 7. Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Saturdays. And of course, we know our farmers market is back. Went there yesterday. Things seemed to be okay when I was there. I think they had to remove a couple cars early in the morning, but that happens. So the farmers market is back. I'll make a report in a meeting or two about the wastewater treatment plant after I meet with everyone down at the sewer plant, along with Todd, our engineer, and I'll make a report as to where we are with the repairs. Murph, could you... Yeah, I'll give it out later. Can't find it right now. So we have streets that we need to pave. Most of them are because with Central Hudson, I'm going to give you a list before we leave here tonight of ones that are being suggested we do. We're moving forward slowly but surely with the senior citizen renovations. Todd will meet with us about the dams, lower and upper bog. We hope to go out with specs on Restore New York and painting the building on Mountain Avenue. I've asked Todd to look at painting the Village Hall or taking the paint off. In these days, we got to go what's cheaper, I think. But he'll give us something back. We'll have a couple of quotes to fix the wall at Mearns Avenue. We already have Donato, who's done some work recently. He's going to fix the walls over here on Highland Brook. We'll have the price for the sidewalks out here very, very soon on Main Street. The RBCs, which will be part of the sewer plant update that I give you all, the RBCs are still being finalized. The north end, we're looking at the quotes now, and the low bidder we'll obviously go with is to do the seal coating at the north end and the striping on where the seal coating is going to go, and the crosswalks, the paved brick crosswalks. I have here from the Hudson Highlands United Methodist Church, free school supplies in August from 10 a.m. to noon. Forms can be brought to the main office by June 24th. It doesn't, it says August 2020. I don't know if they're doing it every weekend. I'll make the announcement again. We have a couple more meetings before this, but this is a good program. I think they take care of hundreds of kids with free school supplies. So that's very good. I would like to commend for the West Point graduation a couple of days ago. I spent about 3 hours out here along with the village board members. I saw a couple of them out there. So I had been worried for over a month now what was going to happen, and I know every day or a few times I would receive emails about another group coming and another group. I'm pro-Trump, I'm anti-Trump, I'm this, I'm that. One group had over 1,000 people they said were coming. Beautiful day. It made me even worry more that they really would come. I don't think we had the number that they thought. We didn't have the number that they thought they were going to have. Now, did we have a few hundred? Yes, we had a few hundred. Did I like some of the language? I didn't like some of the language. Did I like some of the signs? No, I didn't like some of the signs with the dirty language, if you will. But all in all, everything was peaceful. I don't think there were any arrests. So we got to consider that peaceful, because there were opposite sides there, and they were all together. They weren't like they're on one side and we're on the other side and that group's up there. They were all together. I don't know that would happen anywhere else but here, so that's a compliment. But I need to thank the Holland Falls Police Department, the Fort Montgomery Police Department. I worked very closely with Steve Newhouse in the Sheriff's Department, so did the Chief. State Police, you saw them. And of course, military law enforcement was out there. So I'm glad it's over. It was a beautiful day for the cadets. So all that was good.
DPW was there.
DPW was there with a couple of our trucks to help block the road. So it was all good. The plan was good. O'Neill parade for the seniors is next Friday, the 26th. Line up in their cars. Will be over at Roe Park. Step off in their cars will be 6 o'clock. They will go down Walnut, make a left, go take West Point Highway all the way up, make a left by Southgate Tavern, come down Main Street, back up Walnut. So if you want to be on Main Street and or any of the other streets that we're going to be on, clapping, sign. You know, these are young folks that the last 3 or 4 months, well, maybe it's nice not to have school. I think after about a month, they were all wishing they were back in school because there was no sports, there was no prom, there was no nothing for these kids. So it'll be a graduation that they'll remember. I told 2 of them that I met with, one's going to West Point and one's going to Harvard. We met right here in this room. I said, I have to tell you, I graduated 52 years ago. I don't know who my guest speaker was. I don't know who I sat next to. I really don't. You're going to remember your graduation this year. So it'll be a memory. Okay. This report that was done on Main Street, waterfront, the Hahn Falls Marina, uptown here, Main Street, everything from signage to traffic flow to beautification to just everything. This is such a great report that was worked on by a local committee, public hearings, et cetera, but our last public hearing, the public was not allowed. We had it here on TV. You may remember the screen didn't work, and if you were watching that meeting, you'll remember that. But what I would like to tell you is that this is on the village website. I urge you to look at it and make comments. You can make comments on the website. You can email me. My email's on there. Or you can email Regina Taylor, our clerk, or any board member. All our emails are on there. You can call and if you want to just talk to us about something. But the more we have, the better it'll be. So I urge you to look at this on the village website. Okay, dirty water. We had calls this morning, emails this morning about dirty water. And so started out by thinking maybe it was someone had a broken pipe, or then it became more spread. And the result after investigating it was that the fire department went out last night evening and had driver training, and Lord knows they need drivers. They need members. But they were over at Roe Park. They used the hydrant that we've given them permission to use. But I don't know, Jim, they opened up. I mean, they opened up. I saw a picture. They had 3 or 4 inch-and-a-halves or 3-inch hoses, whatever, 2-inch hoses, whatever they have now, and they were just flowing. So that took the system.
I had it at my house too.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's gone now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't last, you know,
The more people use it, the more you flush.
Ran
And
right out.
so that was the reason. If anyone says anything about dirty water, the fire department was training.
I thought they were doing hydrants, I looked outside and see anybody up there, then I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like 3 hoses going.
Yeah, they had a lot going on, and it just really. But I talked to the chief today, and I mean they have to do their training, and Lord knows we need drivers. So the last thing I have is all that's going on with the police, different police departments, Atlanta, different places in the country. The governor of New York has initiated a New York State Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative effort. We need to look at our policies. I've spoken to the police department about this, and they've started this, and this is something that they're going to have to complete. As I read it, the final go ahead to make changes is with me, but I want it to be also with the board, and I also want it to be with the public. It can't just be me. I won't have it that way. So as we go down this road, it'll be in the paper, how we'll handle this. Of course, the police are going to have to be the first ones out of the gate with coming up with policies. Now, the areas that we're going to look at are the use of force by a police officer, crowd management, community policing, implicit bias awareness training, de-escalation training and practices, community-based outreach, and transparent citizen complaint procedures. We have to have this in place by April 1, 2021. At least I can see us talking to you. Any publications or stuff that you get might be worth you and I and whoever else looking at. I'm going to give the police a first shot at this, and then it'll be the board's shot along with you, and then we'll take it to the residents and get their input. So there's a process. It might sound like a while off, but it's less than a year, and it's a lot of work to do.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Is the state gonna give us some money for these programs, or?
No, but they're
We don't
not.
know yet.
No, I'll answer this. I don't have the answer to your question, but I have this comment. They're not going to give us money if we don't do it.
No, I read that part, yeah, I understand
Okay.
that. I was hoping that they would. it
You know
would be
the answer.
Unfunded Band-Aid, you know? but-
You know the answer.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, it's,
Talk about body cameras too. I mean, we talk about other cities, that they gonna have villages and towns.
well, that's not part of this, but that's definitely a topic.
Okay.
You know, that's definitely a topic.
I think the,
I'm putting this, this is very big, and I'm putting it in a nutshell tonight. So forgive me for that, but there'll be a lot more on this. Go ahead, Jim.
I think the, David Hoovler through the district attorney's office may be either starting a program or has started a program for body cams. And I don't know how it works, if you're a municipality, you can kind of work with them and he has funding for it, or he's got the ability to get funding.
Good.
So I think that was just announced
Yeah, I read it. somewhere.
Yesterday that came out.
literally,
Yeah,
literally
it's
yesterday.
true, Sunday.
So it might probably go towards your bigger cities and bigger towns and work its way down to smaller municipalities. Or they may gauge it by interactions or incidences they have, so.
Okay. Jim?
Sure. So, got a report, from the building department, from May through June 15th. Just a summary, really quick. They, have, done this so far, in the village. They did 11 permit applications, which were received, 9 permits were issued. No operating permits were issued. They did 3 C of Os. They had 6 building permit inspections, no fire inspections. 25 advisory violation notices were issued. And let me stop right there for 1 minute. Okay, well, actually, one of them was completed. So, Elise, how are we going to allow the public, like we have in the past, to come in to a meeting to grieve or let us know why they can't take care of this violation? Is there some wording that we can temporarily give to Bruce to put on to that violation? Say, if you would like to come in and address the village board, you have to make a phone call to get an appointment so we know how many people would come. Is there something we could do like that?
I just let me interject this, which you already know. Starting July 7th, we can have 25 people.
Right, and if you're talking about the ability for the public hearing before we cut the grass,
Yes,
no one ever shows up, but
but we still have to give them the opportunity.
yeah, absolutely, and I would say that we notice that just like we always do, and we just indicate that, you know, we can't have more than 5 people at a time. If you're planning to appear, you need to let us know.
And if we have
Something
more
like
than,
that.
if we have more than 5 that requested,
They're gonna have to wait outside and take their
Yeah.
turn.
wait, okay, all right,
We
so
can
but
let
it has,
25 people in here.
Yeah, I mean.
And you're right when you say, the board knows this too,
Yeah.
most people, like most, 98% of people don't come.
I've never seen.
I'd say
anyone.
99, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
I've never seen
So,
one, but.
but at least we have some type of mechanism in place, i.e.
Well, it'll be like the courts, right? So justice court, what happens is, well, we're putting a plan together, but people will be, will be sitting in their cars. They'll either get a text message or someone will call them because we're only letting in so many people at a time.
Okay.
So there are ways to organize it.
Okay.
Why can't we just, if July 7th is the 25, just don't tell them to schedule any more than 2 per meeting right now?
Well, because you want to get the grass cut,
Cut down.
right? In other words, you have to give them an opportunity before you cut the grass, which means that the grass is, you're either.
Yeah, but if they're coming to us, the opportunity's kind of over. They either come that night at the meeting and say, hey, I'm gonna cut it tomorrow, or we're voting to cut it.
Yeah, that's always the case. It's
They're not.
just that what if all
We
of a
have
sudden.
3 weeks. 3 weeks from today
Yeah.
is July 6th.
So between now and then, if you're cutting grass,
Yeah.
But
you know,
things can change, like
think we're all
the
right.
mayor noted, things change from the governor's office daily. And I just wanted to make sure if we had the accommodations or somehow the people would be able to come in, one way or another. And the question is, do we need to have something put in the violation to let them know that they can call us for?
no, I don't think so.
Not yet? Okay.
No, I mean, they'll get the notice, it'll say there'll be a hearing on such and such date.
Okay.
And,
We actually don't have a meeting until July 6th,
Okay.
yeah.
anyway.
Oh, okay, I was just wondering, I just wanted to make
I
sure.
mean,
we
we'll
were covered.
know because we'll know the number of violations that will have been issued for that public hearing.
Well,
And
25 advisories
Mhm.
over the past month and a half. So there's 25 advisories, so let's
All right.
see what he has before the next meeting. With that being said, there was 11 municipal searches which were completed, no zoning variance applications received, 1 planning board application, 3 FOIL requests, and they went out and did 32 physical inspections in the village. So they're definitely out there working the best they can with the limited days that they have based on the COVID-19. Another thing, Mr. Mayor, I know I spoke with you a while back and you noted it in your report about the businesses on Main Street. Friday I was driving around in different municipalities, not only in this county but up in Sullivan. And even today when I was driving through some of the smaller places, the food businesses, I see they have out on the sidewalks a couple of tables just like we have here. But I did notice, and I had a suggestion and you brought up good points why we couldn't do it, but they had some cones set out and they didn't have tables out there. But I think it was for a safety reason, so the cars wouldn't get so close where the people had some tables on the sidewalk. Now, we don't have that many businesses here on Main Street, food businesses that are open, or that would probably put a table out. But again, I would like to suggest, and if we could, or even make a motion to allow the food businesses at this point in time on Main Street to block a couple spaces off in front of their stores, if they so desire, in the event that they had some tables out there.
In the road,
Just to block them off so nobody, not for tables, but to block them off for safety purposes. In other words, a car's not gonna park right in front of a table that's there on Main Street, and they would have to inhale
right,
those.
number one, I have gone to the restaurants more than once, 2 or 3 times. I'm not gonna name them. It's the restaurants. I don't pick and choose, I go to all of them. They don't want to be on they're not gonna be on the sidewalk. Because they're not there now and they're not gonna be on the sidewalk. The Park Restaurant put a couple on the alleyway.
Yeah.
Shades is not going on the sidewalk. They're not going on the sidewalk. So I don't know
Well,
why.
West Point Pizza has.
He has
small
tables
ones.
all the time.
Right.
in before the butters.
And well, that's why I'm just saying.
He's not gonna want those spaces in front of his store that either customers use or his delivery people use.
Well, that's why I said, should they wish to place the tables and they wish to block off that space for safety reasons, I think they should be allowed. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's just a thought,
Okay.
but,
All right.
so it just makes for a safer environment for eating. I mean, if somebody was out sitting in the alleyway at the park and a car parked in front of the old IGA and their passenger gets out and it's still running, those fumes are gonna go right down the alleyway. It's just a suggestion. One other quick thing, I know you spoke about our county exec Steve Newhouse. He has provided me with some fish and game reports like this that tell us about the different seasons, the license fees, etc. throughout New York State. And as soon as we get opened up downstairs, I have a whole stack of these that I can put down there, compliment of Steve Newhouse. Thanks, Mr. Murray.
Brian?
I just want to reiterate the nice job that DPW, the police, town, the village, sheriff's department, troopers, they did a great job here. I mean, people were protesting, it was very peaceful, and it was well attended. And I'm certainly hoping that in the future there can be some dialogues with people in the village and the town about working together. That's all I have.
Thank you. Mark? Jim?
Yeah, also want to do a quick shout out to DPW and Island Falls Police. Did a good job on Saturday. And I don't know if any protesters live in town, but there were a few locals there, and you know, shout out to them too. It was peaceful, and like the mayor said, I didn't really agree with some of the language, but that's okay. Sometimes those things get heated, and that's okay if that's part of your message, if that's what you want it to be part of your message. But all in all, it was a pretty good day. It was a very nice day.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Shout out to the West Point Highland Falls Rotary Club, who's donated over $1,600 to both of the local food pantries. So that's a pretty good thing. I know that they need that, and that food pantries have been pretty active over the last couple of months. And just overall, like, you know, Main Street looked great with the flowers, and I know the DPW built a nice little box over there where the sign was and painted the sign across the street from the visitor center. That came out really great, and you know, I think with the addition of the new trash receptacles and benches, and when we finally do the other sidewalks, you know, it's amazing. I ride down there, and all I can really think about is Senator Larkin, because we were able to get those grants through him, and so even though he's not with us anymore, we're still cashing his checks. So that was very good. Thank you.
The north end,
Well said.
the north end looks absolutely great. I've been going in and out of communities and taking pictures from Beacon to New Jersey to other places of what they're doing with flowers and trees and planters and all this stuff. And I no longer have to do that because folks are going to come here and take pictures of what we've done and take it back home. There's no question about that. It just looks great. One last shout out is to the organizers of Black Lives Matter. They held a march down Main Street to Memorial Park a week ago yesterday, June the 7th. Again, tremendous crowd. You never know how many folks are going to come to anything here. They had a tremendous crowd, 300 to 400 easy. Peaceful. The organizers did a great job. So we thank them for their efforts in those issues. I would like to have a motion to go into executive session. We have quite a bit to discuss, personnel and contracts. So if I could have it. Motion by Trustee Livesey. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Howard, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sean.